Meteorologist Matthew East here with you. This is the December 29th edition of the Carolina Weather Video here on this Tuesday. Another chilly day unfolding for us. We had a cold start, lows down into the 20s pretty much everywhere across the region. And as we go through time here for the next week or two, a lot of cold air coming. And we'll have to see how these storm systems behave as we go through the next couple of weeks as well. Obviously, a lot of cold air around to work with. Now let's get right into it here. Let me show you temperatures this morning. This is the 5 a.m. temperature map across the lower 48. And just a lot of cold air out there across many sections. And this is going to be a common theme for the next several weeks, it looks like, at least the next 2 to 3 weeks, as we have just a cold pattern in the central and eastern part of the country. Now, right now, not a whole lot of precip ongoing, but you can just see the beginnings of our next system with the precip breaking out into Mexico and Texas. That is the very beginning of that next system taking shape. In anticipation of that system, you have a lot of winter weather advisories in effect for Texas up into Oklahoma and northwestern Arkansas, as that system will begin to break out the wintry precip in those sections here over the next 36 hours. Now, this is the GFS 6E run. And this is valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And you're looking at Arctic high pressure centered over Illinois at that point in time. And the precip breaking out here in Texas, a lot of that of the wintry variety. And as we go out 24 hours later, this will be 1 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, tomorrow afternoon. Notice that high pressure just rocketing eastward. At that point in time, the high pressure centered over northeastern North Carolina. Now today is going to be a chilly day, a lot of sunshine, highs low to at most mid-40s, a cold one tonight as we'll drop down into the low to mid-20s out there. Could even be a few spots if the clouds hold off long enough to dip into the upper teens tonight. But that high pressure really rockets eastward, so we'll begin to see moisture increasing tomorrow, and first of all in the form of cloud cover. We'll call it mostly cloudy sky in many spots as tomorrow unfolds. And then the precip begins to move in late tomorrow night. And it looks like in many upstate and Piedmont locations that the precip will move in through the night, Wednesday night. And for the North Carolina zones, probably during the pre-dawn hours, Thursday morning. And then we just see the precipitation kicking over to mainly just a chilly rain through the New Year's Eve, and it could be sort of an off and on light rain or drizzle scenario New Year's Eve. Now, as that precipitation initially moves in during the pre-dawn hours Thursday morning, probably cold enough for an initial period of some freezing rain or some sleet, especially I-85 points north and west in North Carolina. But it just doesn't look like a big deal. I think the duration of any wintry precip early Thursday morning is very brief. I don't think it's a big deal in the Piedmont zones of North Carolina. As temperatures warm up relatively quickly with that high scooting out to sea, there's just nothing to hold in the cold air aside from evaporation. And as the precip settles in, temperatures should warm above freezing. So, and the precip amounts are pretty light anyway, so I don't think this is a huge deal in terms of wintry precip. Now, on the back end of this, it's interesting. There'll be another little piece of upper-level energy cruise in. This is, again, the 6C GFS, valid at 1 o'clock Friday afternoon. As that low pulls up the coast, we're going to have to watch to see if we get any type of precip band to develop on the back side of this, any deformation band type of activity. The 0Z run of the GFS really indicated that, and I want to show you this. This is the 0Z UK Met, and this was 7 p.m. Thursday, so you notice pretty good look, pretty good piece of 500 millibar energy here that would swing through. So we have to watch this. If we see this energy trend a little stronger, we might have a little better chance of seeing a little something Friday morning. Right now, I don't think it's a big deal, but maybe a few wet snowflakes Thursday night into Friday morning of the Piedmont of North Carolina. But, again, we'll have to see if that tries to trend stronger on future model runs. Again, it's going to get cold this weekend. This is the 1 o'clock map in the afternoon for Saturday. And, I mean, that's brutal stuff. We're talking 850 millibar temperatures in the teens below zero from say, Interstate 40 northward. This is cold stuff, and the European's in agreement, so I don't think we're looking at a GFS cold bias here. The European is in lockstep with this. And it stays cold right on into the first part of next week. So we're probably talking mid 30s for highs in a lot of spots over the weekend and early next week. And I do think some teens work in here for lows as well as we get into Sunday morning and Monday morning. So just a really cold air mass, the coldest air we've seen so far this year, and it'll stay a little breezy at times as well. So you're talking wind chill values, very chilly as well. All right, then we look at the next potential system. This is the GFS, 1 o'clock Monday afternoon. And what you'll notice here is it tries to develop an area of low pressure here in the Gulf of Mexico. But due to the placement of features, it really suppresses everything off to the south and keeps the Carolinas and North Georgia dry. European is a little different. This is the 0Z European, and this is valid 7 p.m. Monday evening. And it develops a nice little coastal low there off the coast of the Carolinas, and it is enough, looking at the precip maps, to print out some snow in parts of the Carolinas late Monday and Monday night. The reason you have the difference in the GFS and the European, let me show you why. This is up at 500 millibars, and this is, again, 7 p.m. on Monday evening. And the European at 500 millibars here has the 500 millibar low or vortex really centered over the Ohio Valley. At the same time, the GFS has it off the New England coast. And so, again, the GFS, with this type of pattern, you have everything really suppressed off to the south with that northwest flow at 500 millibars. So again, that's the GFS, and at the same time the European has that vortex centered back in the Ohio Valley. So GFS, European, you can see the difference there. You can take a peek at the GFS ensembles. I know this is really small on the video, but some of the ensembles here are certainly indicating that the vortex could be farther west, more toward the European position. So you look at the Canadian, just to give you another view here, this is the same time period, 7 o'clock Monday evening, and it is also more toward the GFS position there with a northeasterly placed vortex. So I'm still leaning toward that suppression idea right now, but you have to keep that European idea in the back of your mind. Again, if we see that vortex more over the Ohio Valley, you'd have more potential to see some precip move through early next work week. And any precip that were to move through early next work week would be in the form of snow. It's a very cold air mass in place. So we'll watch that. I've gone with the dry forecast Monday into Tuesday for this morning's forecast package, but we'll watch it and see how things trend here over the next couple of days. All right, looking at the longer range, I just see no end in the generally cold pattern, and just a couple of nuggets from the 0Z GFS. This is out at the 8th of January. Another system scooting by off to the south, a lot of cold air around. The 12th, GFS does bring some precip in here with another storm system. And then yet another system out on the 13th. So, I think, and I also notice a fresh push of Arctic air entering the northern U.S. So I just really don't see any end of this pattern through mid-January, predominantly a cold pattern and occasionally a very cold pattern. And it's just a matter of how suppressed these storm systems are. I think odds are at some point we're going to get some precip in here. So the snow chances are going to be there at some point across the region, I believe. But really sniffing those out, it's going to be tough to do. But we're going to see a lot of storm systems probably cruise by off to our south. But I think odds are at some point we're going to get one up this way. We'll just have to see when that might be. All right, that's it for this morning's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great Tuesday as this New Year's week continues, and God bless.